Hello everybody, this is Debbie from Project 39. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing a Country Craft Creation design team project using the fabulous Midnight Potions paper pads or paper collections. I will tell you that I used both the 8x8 and the 12x12. Now these collections are made entirely by Country Craft Creations, and you can purchase them at countrycraftcreations.com. This is I guess you would use it at Halloween time, but you know what? It's not, there are no ghosts, no Draculas, no vampires, I guess is the word I'm looking for. It's all about a druggist and apothecary. I guess that's how we'll call it, because that is how it starts. The title, well, let me show you the book. So here we are. So it is called The Medicine Lady. Now you could put a photo in here. It's very easy to cut a photo smaller and an oval shape and stick it in there. But you might not want to because it's cool by itself. Let me tell you a little bit about the cover before I get into the book. I used this fabulous ribbon that came from Country Craft Creations. These roses are Graphic 45 that I purchased from Country Craft Creations. This is the, I'll remember that name in a second, but there's this set of black, and I think it's just purple and lilac. I think that's what it's called. I also have some seam binding. I also have some purple cardstock. It's called Grapevine, and then there is a sparkly black paper from Doodlebug that again, all purchased from Country Craft Creations. I did pull a couple of things from my stash. I had some of these bottles, and this one I labeled poison, and that one I put a skull and crossbones. You'll see some better details down the road. But if you don't have bottles, I'm trying to grab it. There are bottles you can cut out of the collection and put on. This one I put on some Nouveau Drops Crystal Glaze. This one I left alone. I think I may have, well, I also used Crackle that I got from Country Craft Creations. I don't know if they still have it, but the crackle on the bottle's fabulous too. And I'll show you in the mini album how I did some treatment of the bottles just to add them in. So you could have just stuck that in there instead of a glass bottle. You might see something else. So there is this gold detail. Here's a piece of it. So I am in the Pacific Northwest, and all over the trees is this moss. So I took it, I treated it by drying it in the oven at a low temperature for 10 minutes. I don't know if there was anything in there that needed to be killed, but I wanted to make sure. And then I just used some gold distress paint. I'm sorry, it's a mess, but that came from Country Craft Creations. It's got the dauber, and I just daubed some gold paint on there. Now these corners did come out of my stash. I just thought it just helped pull together the fine little detail of everything on the cover. I grabbed a real small paintbrush and painted over the lettering that said The Medicine Lady, and in a couple of spots here, the light may catch it. It's hard to show you on camera, but the light does catch it every once in a while and show you a little different shine to it. So that is pretty much what I did on the cover. Of course, I used a scallop and a stub punch, but you don't have to. It would have been fine straight. And let me take you inside. This, by the way, is a 9" by 8.5" tall. It's got a 2.5" spine. So again, here is the star of the show, the medicine lady. Here she is. looks like she's reading a poem, which is part of what she does. But I just love this as sort of a cover plate in the book. Instead of putting a pocket or anything else, I just kept it simple, and that actually ties in with this page. So here we have an envelope flap. This has a magnet hidden underneath, and that takes you to a chest. Now this, of course, was in the collection, but I did color it with some alcohol ink just to pull that purple all together. And now I do have the tutorial coming up. The tutorial is very detailed. I don't always do tutorials like this, and you'll have to see it in 3, maybe even 4 different segments because there was so much into it. For instance, I show you how I made this and how I put the magnet on. So a lot more detail than normal, and I do matting for most of it on camera. And I talked to you about where I got it and whether it was the 8.5 or 8x8 page or the 12x12 collection. So inside here is a pull apart or pull out, and there is a spot there for your photos. This again is that grapevine. You'll see this throughout the whole mini album. I just wanted something to unify this. I did ink around the edges, and I used different inks as I went. Now this is attached to this page, and that will open up and take you inside. We see this again, that's the 8x8 paper, same as this, and I use that here because I loved that detailing around the sides. And so inside, on the left-hand side, I cut this and added the purple strip. This was just from one of the papers that didn't have anything on it. This was from the labels and tags page, and I just cut that out and left it open on the top and added some of these labels or tags with some seam binding. And then this also is open up at the top, so you can add your photo there, but as well it could be a tuck spot. You can see I've colored the bottles that were on this page. You know, I just cut some of these down and colored them and added them here with one of the tags. This has the purple paper with the black glitter paper underneath, just as an added detail. And this page, where you still could put a photo, has some of those bottles as if they're sitting on a shelf. So that is our first page. Now this is a pocket mini album, but I did not put in pocket pages. You could have, but I think there was enough room, but that is entirely up to you if you want to do that. So here we go to page 2, and although I didn't have matching pages, like this would not be a mirror of that, I did coordinate the pages together. So as I go through, I'm also matting like this page, and then I cut the paper for this and mat this page. So you'll see how I did this. Obviously there's 2 pockets in this one, and I made some tags with some of that black glitter paper just as a little added detail. And of course I have the seam binding, and I had some jute from my stash that came from Country Craft Creations, which the colors go together nicely. So here we have a little pocket on this page, and then this will open up and give you more room for photos. I didn't put the purple as a mat on all of the pages, thinking, and these are perfect for 4x6 photos. It's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Some are 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, but this is 4 1/4. Because if you had 4x4 photos or 3x3, you could put them how you wanted on that page. Now this has a pocket in it. It's a side loading pocket, and see here I've got the smaller mat, so you could put that on. Don't you love that? I got over that throughout the mini album several times. So that is the front of page 2. So again, we've got papers that coordinate but aren't entirely matchy-matchy. This one will open to the side, So you've got room to put 2 4x6 photos. And incidentally, you could put a photo on here. So if you find you have a lot of photos, you can put it on there. And I go over why I matted it up. Now you could make this a pocket, as I did on this page. This has a side-loading pocket here, and it's got a little brochure that goes right, not a brochure, a little booklet sort of thing. And I used the ribbon to signify that it'll open, so you can see where it opens, and then that closes, and then this will open. So you could have landscape and portrait on the same page. Again, look at the detail of this paper, how fabulous that is. That is why I used the 8x8 along with the 12x12. I mean, you could just probably get by with just the 12x12. You would have to stretch it out and have a lot of matted areas, but get the 8x8 also. It just makes it that much more fun. So then we turn the page, and we go from this distressed tan color back to the purple. Whoops, that goes like that. There we go. I loved this page by itself. This was from an 8x8 that I did cut down, but you still get to see some of that detailing. Love the house. I just love the colors. It just was fabulous. So this is one side of the paper, and the purple is the other. And that'll open up like that. And up top here, I have another little tag cut out and used it as a tuck spot, and inked this paper with some hickory gray, or hickory smoke, I'm sorry. And this is a 5x7 piece, so you could put a larger photo here, or you still could put your 4x6 photo on there. That would work as well. And then this will give you more room to put more 4x6 photos, so you can put 4 of them, you know, 2 on each one. Again, I played around with some distress ink, and I show you how I do it. It's long video, I'm warning you, but a lot of information in that video. So here's the corners. Again, you can see I opted to move this up on the page rather than put it down and make it a pocket, because I loved the detailing of this writing. So that goes in, and this of course is a magnet closure, and I have the ribbon here to signify that is a tab. All right, now there's magnets on both sides of this tag. I wanted it to correspond, so we've got the house on one of the tags, and then this will open up like that, and it is a simple pocket page, but we have lots of fun playing with some distress inks. I used Wilted Violet, Black Soot, and Hickory Smoke. The Wilted Violet and the Hickory Smoke are both oxide, so that's why I could play with that. The Black Soot is just a regular distress ink. Now, I also talk about if you have the newer color, what is it? It'll come to me in a second, of the purple. That would work very well with this collection, but I didn't have it, so I used what I had, and I think it came out okay. Now, you can't really tell because, you know, the camera just sort of hides it. It looks a little bluer than it actually is. But again, it's fun. It's fun. I have a lot of fun doing that. And if you don't want to, you don't have to ink around the edges at all. In fact, I noticed on this paper collection, a lot of times you don't have to ink around the edges, because look at this. I mean, it's already darker around the edges. I had to here because I cut the paper down, but look at this. I mean, it's already... When Tamara from Country Craft Creations creates this paper, she is a scrapbooker at heart, and she knows what people are looking for when they're making their pages. I mean, it makes it so easy. It really does. You might think I'm a genius to make this, but really, it's the paper came together for me. Loved this. It's, you know, a totally different theme. We go away from the sort of the haunted house, the medicine lady, all that, to now specimens. And this is sort of bugs and moths and bees and mushrooms and frogs and all sorts of things. So this has a little pocket here that holds some of the paper. I loved this word specimens. I loved the writing. I love the label look of it, so I wanted to utilize that for this page. And also I put this list of poisons, in case you need to know that, in here. I think this came from the back of the labels paper. This was the 12 by 12. Yeah, so, you know, in Country Craft Creations, you'll get one page of tags like this, and then one page of cut-aparts. So the cut-aparts in this case are advertisements on bottles or billboards or whatever. So that's where the list of poisons came from. And there's definitions as well. It's really an interesting collection. So anyhow, that's where that came from, and this will open up to give you room to put a couple of photos, and then this whole thing will open up so you can put a photo on the back here. And then this will close, and that flap opens to the left. Again, there's that snakes and scorpions and spiders page. Here's more of that specimens page where you see the fabulous frog. I think I feature him somewhere else too. And then here's just a simple photo mat, and I made it small enough that I could actually make it as a pocket and put a couple of those tags that came from that one page inside here. Now if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I mean, just center that on the page and you would be fine. But there's still room to put photos. So this will close, and that will close also. And now this has a long flap because I wanted to keep everything together. Just the inside has just that on it. You can't really see that it says specimen. It just sort of peeks out at you a little bit. But again, it's got that fabulous paper that you can tell this is from the 8 by 8 and this is from the 12 by 12. And I wanted to make sure you saw different bugs or whatever on each of these pages. Again, you still could put photos on here. That's what it's meant for. But if you don't, then the back has room to put your photos. And I put that moth in such a way that you could just go underneath it and the photo will fit. I just tacked it at the two wings. So there's that. There's that. And there is our frog friend again. So still, you could put the photos back behind that. And room on this page for photos. And then over here, I have the mushrooms. Again, just ready to put a photo right on there. So that'll go like that. And that goes. And I'm sorry, I'm nearing to the end. That always makes me sad because these are so fun to do. But 'twas only a dream. I mean, that page by itself is gorgeous, and I wanted to feature it in one of the pages. So this will open. Actually, this goes like that. This has a magnet on it. This will open like this. There's the large dictionary page there. And this will open like that. And like that. So there's a pocket page. I hadn't featured this paper in this anywhere. I think this is the back of it. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. So I wanted to make sure I was able to. Oh, this might be the back of it. But anyhow, I put that in there. And you know, you could just put photos in these pockets. You don't have to use it to put photo mats in. You could just put photos in there. And photos would go there nicely. And on the back of that page. So that's how that goes. And then the final page, or the inside back cover, I use string, the seam binding as the string here, and that will open up, and then there is room in there for photos or memorabilia or ephemera, whatever you have that you want to preserve and save along with the photos that you're going to use for this book. The back simply has the blue, and there again is the spine, and then we are back to the cover. So again, I have done a lengthy tutorial that will come out in 3 or 4 parts. You'll probably see the first one towards the first week of September 2022, and then every couple of days. I have recorded 4.5 hours of video, and I need to edit it down. So that takes a lot of time, but I'm hoping it's something you like. If you do like seeing the matting process, I would hope that you would go ahead and like those videos. The more people watch it and like it, the more I know what people like. If you'd rather just see tutorials on here's just to cut the paper and put it in, I mean like the cardstock, then if people don't watch it, then I know that that is not something that people want to see. So that is what I have. All of the materials I used will be in the description box. Tamara, hats off to you, because this is a fabulous collection, and I hope that everybody will go ahead and pick up 12 by 12 and 8 by 8 paper. Or you could probably, if you're good at measurements, do it 8 by 8 and 6 by 6 if you want to figure out a way to make it smaller. But that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.